Hello, coaches. Welcome to iCoach Football. I'm your host, Joel Forsberg, and as you know, this channel is dedicated to helping coaches like yourself become more successful at both youth tackle football and youth 7-on-7. Today, we're going to talk about youth tackle concept of spreading the defense out. You're on offense and you want to spread the defense out. Now, I know that in some of my past videos, I talk a lot about a run-heavy offense. I like to run the wishbone. I like to get three backs in the backfield, have lead blockers, and just run heavy. But you can't just run the ball. You have to be able to have a pass threat. If you are just a run threat, then what's going to eventually happen is that defense is going to get your number, and they're going to be like, hey, these guys cannot pass the ball. Let's stack this box. And they're going to bring everybody down into that box, and they might not even keep a safety back there. They might disrespect you so bad. So if that's the case, they're going to shut down your run game, and if you don't have a pass threat, then you're done. So you have to have a pass threat. And so I like to run first, but make sure you also have a passing package that you can use to loosen up that defense to make them respect you a little bit more. Now, this year I might be getting a quarterback that was my 7-on-7 quarterback these last 2 years, and we did really well. It'll be the first year I get him in tackle. So now I'm thinking to myself, hey, I can really make them respect the pass game. I got some of my other receivers that also played for me in 7-on-7. We could really pass, and so now here I'm in 8th grade, and I'm not going to be pass first. I'm going to be run first, but I'm going to really make the defenses respect our pass game. And another thing that I talked to a good friend of mine, he won the championship here in 8th grade here in our town. And I was like, hey, Eric, I didn't get to a lot of your games. Like, what was one of your secrets on offense? And he said, Joel, I ran the spread. He goes, I ran trips, I ran double wides. I got the defense to really widen out, and it would take like the whole backside of the play off. So if I widened them out, and then a lot of times their linebackers would come out, and I could run the dive and uncontested, or I could run off tackle. Maybe they had one linebacker and I'd come off tackle, and I'm like, well, I know that there's a lot of value to that now, but I didn't quite have the quarterbacks in the past. You only can run that if you can pass out of the spread effectively and hurt them. Then they're going to respect the spread. Then you're going to see safeties come over your receivers. You're going to see the linebackers. You're going to see corners kind of backing out. If you can burn them once, you're going to see them backing out, and they're going to loosen up. They're going to loosen up everything underneath. And once they loosen up everything underneath, bam, your running lanes open up underneath, right? So there is a concept to that, and this year I'm going to run that concept. So I'm going to explain that a little bit here in Chalk Time, that I am going to run the spread. I'm going to run trips. I'm going to run double wides, single backs, which is a big departure, I know, from some of my older videos, but there is value in it if you have the right players. Okay, if you have the right players. If you have a quarterback that is really athletic, but he just can't pass, well, then focus on that run heavy. You should at least be able to have him run and do short passes. Okay, so just as a side note, if you have a quarterback that is really athletic, can pass short distances accurately, then the one play that I ran a lot in 5th, 6th, 7th grade is we run the QB blast, where all the back guys in the backfield would run out. I'd have 2 receivers going for a pass, particularly one receiver where he ruled out would be a corner route. And so it made the defenders decide, is this a run? Are we coming up to stop the run? Or is it a pass and we're going to stay with this guy? So usually on the corner, that corner had to make that decision. And so the quarterback would keep the ball and look like a run. He'd come out. All the blockers would come out with him. And then he would look. And if a lot of times that guy run the corner route was going uncontested. There was because the defenders were coming to stop the run, and then it was just pull up, throw right over the top for a little pop pass. And we made a lot of good progress with that play over the years. I would even do that 2 or 3 times to the same team. But then if they did start loosening up to respect the pass, then we could just keep it and run. So I always like to build a passing offense off of what the defense is showing you, especially when you've set it up with the run. And we can talk about that more in another video. But in this video, we're just going to jump in here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about as far as spreading the offense out. Okay, this is a very standard run play for us and a very standard base formation. Our base formation that I like to start out with is the wishbone. And you've seen some other videos. You see that I do like a heavy backfield. I like to bring 2 lead blockers. You know, it's kind of unorthodox, but we get real wide splits up front. I've got fingertip to fingertip splits. And if those linebackers aren't reacting, if they're just kind of floating back here, and you can get a full head of steam here and here on these 2 guys with the lead blockers coming through, this has been a very good play for us. This is a play we have run and have had great success with. Now, I've had some guys, you know, they say, well, what if they're really stacking the box? So let's say we got something like this. Okay, we got a nose guard in here, and we got these linebackers like this. Okay, something like this. And they're like, well, how can you, or they might even do something like this, like really get heavy and do a single high safety. Okay, now if you get something like this, it doesn't necessarily mean you cannot run the ball and you can't keep these players in the backfield. Now, we're going to talk in a minute about spreading these players out and getting some of these defenders to go with them, but it doesn't mean you have to. Just because you have like stacked box like this, obviously now at this point we're not going to be running it up the A gap. Okay, now we're going to do an off tackle play. You know, so we're going to do a play where we kick out the end, or we're going to trap the end, and we're going to come right off the outside edge. Okay, a C gap run play, and then so even though all these players are down here, these players just by their positioning kind of take themselves out of a play. These guys right here, especially these back 4 guys, it's going to be very hard for them to get all the way over here when the run's coming off the edge like this. Especially if you can seal in that edge with one more blocker. Like for an example here, so I'm going to do our off tackle play. So our off tackle play, all of the linemen they're down blocking the guy to their left away from the play. So there's a down block here. If there's nobody in your gap, you release and down block the linebacker. Okay, the center always takes nose if he's on top of him. Okay, and then there's a down block here and there's a down block here. This linebacker or strong safety, he's not usually going to be able to get over here. He's usually kind of hanging out here looking at this gap. So this is a real hard off the edge play. So now the only defenders we have to take care of is this outside linebacker and this guy here, because this receiver is taking the corner and he's kicking him out. The B-back is coming in and kicking this end out. So it's kind of like a pulling guard. We also have a play, you know, a trap where the guard will come and kick the end out, and that's especially good when you have less guys in the backfield. So you'll see that later on. We'll run the trap when we run the spread, and maybe we got 1 or 2 backs in the backfield, then we'll run that trap. But if we got all 3 backs, then this guy becomes like the kick block. Okay, so he comes in here, he kicks out that end. All right, the first close A back, I know he's in red, but he's not getting the ball on this one. So he's coming through here right behind this guy, and he's looking inside. Whap, and he takes the first guy, and then the other A back is coming right off this edge, and it's a one-on-one with the safety. And this has been a great play for us. So even though we have all these defenders stacked in the box, doesn't mean you can't take a heavy backfield and run it hard off the edge, because all you got to do is get this. If you can trap this guy in here and you can kick this guy out, there's an alley through here out to the outside. This guy's got, now it's a foot race. This tackle is going to be for 10 to 15 yards if you can get him at all. Here's an example of spreading the defense out a little bit to get defenders away from the point of attack. So now if you see here, I got twins left, and I want to toss it to the right. And you can see I still have my lead blocker. Now what we have to deal with on this side is 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. All right, now what we have over here on this side is 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. So it's a 1-for-1 to the outside on this side. And we did that by putting these guys over here and committing more players over here. We have to get a safety over here. Now, again, this only works if there is a pass threat over here. Okay, if there's a pass threat going on over here, then they gotta bring the safety over, and he's got to help over there, and this guy's got to stay over here because he's got to have deep support on this guy. So again, having a good quarterback that can pass the ball and also run the ball and also be a run threat, it stretches the defense. So now in this case, I'm stretching them out. I'm putting them all to our left side, and then I'm coming over here to the right with my run, and we're going to stretch these guys out. So we got here. This is zone blocking on our toss plays. So it's step and block. This guy is trying to block in or up. And the runner is going to read his back. If this guy takes it inside and he can pin him in, the runner's going to bump. We do a drill for this all the time. And then if this guy stays outside and he hits here, this runner's going to run it in right behind. So he's always looking at the back of this. This is your apex blocker right here. And this guy, because this guy's coming in and he's always looking in. He's always looking in. And if this guy, if he has to help chip this D end, he chips the D end. And then he has to have an awareness that runner keeps going. Then he's got to be able to release and come. Does this guard need help with this linebacker? He might chip this end. His eyes are up. He's holding 1, 2, 3. This guy's coming. Release, wham, hit him. And we do this. We do second level blocking, especially for our B-backs. They're fast enough and they're strong enough to get here to get to this next level. In an ideal world, this guy gets a ride on him and is just kind of slowing him down, and this guy can run out, maybe shoulder him a little bit and come off this edge and look inside here. Ideal world, this guard releases, and I did have a guard last year that could just release and boom and wall him. All right, and then this guy's coming off this edge, and he's an edge blocker. He's coming right off this edge. Hopefully he's picking up that guy. That's when you know we got to win. And then this guy's getting the ball in the toss. He's coming out. He's reading him. Is he going to bump or is he going to slide in? Okay, a lot of times he bumps out. He sometimes a little fake and then go and then off to the races. Okay, but why can't we do this? Why is it a one-on-one over here now? Because we stretched them. We got all these guys over here committed to this side. They have to commit to this side because we might come over here with a pass, and that might hurt them. What are some other spread offenses we can look at? Let's go ahead and take a look at trips. Here's one we're doing that we're going to introduce this year. It's just a bubble screen. I like to switch block on the outside. I saw an offensive coordinator do this, and they just had huge success with doing a switch block. Basically, they're switching who their defender is, who they're blocking. They're blocking his defender, and he's blocking his. So boom, boom, like that. And what that does is it helps to have an inside-out leverage on an open field block. And it's a lot easier if you can attack a defender on his shoulder than head up. So you switch here. This A-back is kind of backpedaling right at the snap. The ball comes to him, and then boom, he's right up the middle. And this B-back is releasing, taking this linebacker here and taking his eyes here. And this guy's going, actually taking his eyes. This guy's going deep. Here's our decoy right here. He's running full speed. He's taking him and him. And then this B-back is coming here and taking him. So now we got this guy here, and hopefully he's not fast enough on the uptake to get all the way over here before this little nimble A-back is up the sideline to a one-on-one right here. But again, what we did is we spread them out. Basically, this defender, and hopefully this defender. If this defender is really coming out here like this, well, we're not even going to run this now. We're going to run a dive. Look at this. So you're reading the linebackers. If the linebackers are kind of stacked in right here like this, well, then it's too much for him to get all the way over here. But if they're coming up like this, and they're kind of like this, well, now what are we going to do? We're going to audible to a dive. We got a Roger. We got a Linda. And that's our inside dive, right and left. And right now we're going to go Roger. There's nobody in the A gap. This right here is just whap off to the races. By the time these guys figure it out, he's got 6, 7, 8 yards. So you're really kind of looking at the linebackers in this situation, and if they're in here, if they're kind of tucked in here like this, well, now we only got really 3 defenders out here that pose a threat. And I know we can take these 2 guys. I know with this little switch block, we're going to take these guys. He's going to get the ball and go right up the middle. in a perfect world, right? So that's another example of how to stretch out and start introducing easy plays, really. And this is a play my quarterback can make all day long. It's not a difficult pass. And so what run plays do we want to do out of the trips? We can't just, if we're just passing out of the trips, they're onto our game. They're going to come up in here and they're going to figure something out. But if we're running out of it, let's see what that looks like. A trips situation where we're going to run out of it. So we go trips right, toss left. All right, so the toss, our front guys are all zone blocking, step and attack. All right, step, nobody there, attack second level, step and attack, step, nobody there, attack second level, step and attack. Always stepping towards the play. So we can see now there's a one-on-one to the most critical players. This guy is not going to be able to catch up. He's going to come in and he's going to be tailing, but it's too quick. It's a quick toss right here off this edge. This Z is blocking here, and the B is just coming hard off this edge, reading blocker right here. If this guy comes down and really starts to attack and he hits there, we teach our Bs to bump and go. And we've had a lot of success off of this in the regular 3-back set and 2-back set, but now going with a 1-back set, we got all these defenders over here that basically are out of the play. Very rarely are these guys ever going to make it all the way from here over to make a tackle. This guy is a threat, but these guys aren't, and neither is this guy, because this guy is going to be taken out. And so we're basically, again, we're leaning out the defense, kind of spreading them out, stretching them out, and we're still running the toss. And so the plays are kind of basically the same. We got a toss, we got off tackle, we got a trap, and we got a dive. Those are basic. We got a QB follow, we got a QB blast, but we don't have a lot of different plays. We just have a lot of formations to run them out of, and then we're reading. So one of the things we're really reading is, how are these corners? Is this a really small, weaker corner? Is he going to be easy to block? Then we're going to pick on him. We're going to do trips right, and we're coming one-on-one out here against this corner. And if that corner can't break off this block and make a tackle, this is basically almost a home run. And all these guys are doing is getting to slow these guys down. I have my guards attack at a hard angle, especially if they're bigger and slower. They're just coming right here. If this linebacker comes through here, he's not going to get it. I hope that linebacker comes through here, because the ball's going to be here, and then he's just going to be running behind him. But what I don't want is this linebacker scraping over here. So this guard is coming at a hard angle to cut him off, and we work this a lot. We work hard angles. Don't run where he's at. Run where he's going to be, where you can catch him, where you're trying to come out here and kind of wall him off this way. Same with this guy. We're coming out here, and we're kind of coming at an angle and then catching him. These guys are stepping hard, trying to get their helmet across here and run with them with this helmet on the outside of this guy's outside shoulder. Same here. Get your helmet across, and then just put your shoulder in and just run with them. Slow them down. And that's how we work the toss in this situation. So this is something that works, and again, it only works if you have a quarterback that's a threat, because then we gotta honor it over here. We gotta honor it with defenders over here. All right, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. I hope that this video is helpful. Use this as you're putting your playbook together and thinking about your different personnel. And I hope this helps. And see you next time.